folks. Ken Hovind here and the crew at Dinosaur Adventureland in lovely Lenox, Alabama, where it is gorgeous outside. And we have groups visit from all over the place. And this group came, and about 20 minutes ago, I called Joseph with my wild idea. Can we get them to sing? Brother, tell us a little bit about your church and how the folks like Dinosaur Adventureland.
Hi, I'm Donald Scheib. I'm minister for the Anabaptist Brethren Church in Linden, Tennessee. And we came down last night, and we had a tour today, and we had a very excellent time. Got to learn about creation and science and dinosaurs. And we really enjoyed the Jeep ride. That was a fun tour that we got to tour the campus here and see everything that was it looks like a lot of hard work's been put into this to put this together. So we really appreciate that. And we just had a fun time. So we're glad to be here in the I guess the chapel or the church tonight. Yep. And we would like to sing 2 songs, if that's okay.
Sure.
And we'll go ahead and do that before you speak.
Thank you, brother. Yeah. Maybe you can help me out. The atheists hate us. Okay. Sure. We tear apart their little stupid evolution religion all the time. Some of the rumors going around blow your mind. One guy said, don't go there. They kill people. They're skeletons. How many got to see the skeletons today at the bottom of the cliff?
Yeah.
They're plastic. Okay. We don't kill people around here. It's crazy. It's insane. When Paul got to, in Acts 28, when Paul finally got to Rome, he said, hey, have you guys heard about me and what's going on? They said, all we know is everywhere it is spoken against. Read that verse in Acts 28. Mm-hmm. But how many of you kids like Dinosaur Adventureland? Did you enjoy it here?
Yeah.
How many took the giant swing, the leap of faith? How many? And let's see. There's just so much fun stuff to do. Anyway, I'd love to hear 2 songs. Go ahead, brother.
Okay. Let's sing number 169 in this hymnal, Come Thou Fount. And Sarah, I'm going to have you lead. We're going to do everyone. We're going to sing the first verse together, and then soprano and altos on verse 2, and everybody lead on verse 3. Everybody will sing on verse 2. We'll do soprano, alto, and tenor. We'll keep the bass, and then do everyone on 3.
Standing
Amen. All right. Amen. Are we on, brother? Okay. That was awesome. Appreciate that. Y'all come every week and sing for us if you would. Yeah, I get a lot of requests, but I sing anyway. Okay. Join us. Thank you for coming tonight. Let's see, what's this? September 55th. What did I do on my... Is today really September 55th, Joseph?
Yes, sir. I think it's tomorrow.
It's been a long month. Whoa, typo. Sorry about that. Okay, we're on Facebook and Rumble and let's see, X, and I don't know what all these are, and our own app, KentHovind.tv, Instagram, on a bunch of different channels. Join us, please. Sign up for all of them. Get all of them. If they take one down, go to a different channel. They took us off of YouTube for now. A bunch of folks are still showing my stuff on YouTube, and please do, okay? September 5th, that's more like it. Not the 55th. Okay, you can subscribe to our channel and like it and share it and do all that kind of stuff. It does something for Al Gore. I don't know why I care about that, but it's rhythm or something. Let's see, share this message with other people. Call 855-BIG-DINO if you want to schedule a debate to defend the religion of evolution. Tonight is open mic. Guys, call in. Tell me what evidence you have for why you believe you came from a rock and why you're related to a banana. Tell me why, okay? Or if you want to schedule a cabin to come live in, how many are staying for a while? How many of you guys enjoy staying in our little cabins over there? Hey, it's not the Taj Mahal, but pretty nice, aren't they? How many of you kids got to pet some of the animals in the petting zoo? Did you get to pet some? Yeah. And how many enjoyed the Jeep tour, the real tour? Okay. Nobody died on that tour in like, what, a week now, Joseph?
Been a while.
Been a while. No. We have a blast ride. We need a fourth Jeep. I think you saw that today. You know, just looking for an old 4-door. Got to be 4-door. Well, we take the doors off. What would you call that? A 4-hole? I don't know. Anyway, okay. Help us to open for free. Join our 777 club. Say, I like what you're doing. You're winning people to the Lord. I want to help. You can do that. It's $1 a day if you can. $31 a month. I don't check on it. I don't want to know who's in it. Okay. Just do it because you love the Lord. So anyway, join us. So go to drdino.com. And if you have any questions, you can connect those black dots there, and something happens to join the 77 Club. Let's see, 9.5 years now, been open for free. Well, we're still looking for a fire truck, an old fire truck that the pressure that will still spray. How many got to do some of the water slide activities today with the pump sliding the kid down the tube? And I want to get a fire truck where when the kid goes down the zip line, we can try to shoot him. That'd be cool or what? Yeah. Okay. I spoke at Berkeley University twice. This was 2004, so 21 years ago. I just happened to come across that today. I said, wait a minute. This would be good to play tonight and take some of the comments from 21 years ago, because these people still have not learned, okay? There's Jesus Lost Children is the name of the channel, I guess. 11,000 subscribers, don't know anything about it, okay? Debate number 18 on my series. Taped at Berkeley University in Berkeley, California, April 9th, 2004. A faithful servant of the Lord tried for 6 months to get even one professor from Berkeley to debate him. Somebody tried to called all the professors, will you debate Kent Hovind? They all said no. So he just scheduled me to come speak. Thank you, do it again, at any university, okay? 160 professors refused to take the challenge, even when money was offered to them. Since no one would debate him, Dr. Hovind spoke for an hour and took questions for almost another hour and a half. See for yourself the incredible hostility the liberals show when someone challenges their evolution worldview. Evolution's a religion, okay? This was Dr. Hovind's second trip to Berkeley, and the crowd gets more hostile each time. If you like to watch a good fight, you'll really enjoy this video. So here it is. Let me go over here to right here. Play this for just a minute, and then we'll look at some of the comments. The Berkeley talk of 20.
Well, thank you for coming. It's an honor to be here at Berkeley to speak on the creation side of things. My name is Kent Hovind. I taught high school science 15 years and now do seminars on creation, evolution, and dinosaurs. Paul contacted about 160 professors to see if they would debate. Nobody would. So I'm just going to speak for about an hour and then open up for question and answer time. And if you have questions, please write them down. We'll be ready for it. And any questions are fair game if it's related to the creation topic, okay? Preferably on the topic of creation and evolution. Now, I am not against science, okay? I'm not against schools. I'm just simply against lies. And tonight I'm going to share with you some of the lies that are found in your textbooks that are used consistently to support the evolution theory. Okay, that's not my wife. It's just a picture of her. I have 3 kids, 1 of each. I have them all married off, and the dog died, so I made it. I'm home free. And 2.5 grandkids. I have 1 more coming up here in a few days. And we produce a lot of materials on creation and evolution. None of our material is copyrighted. We encourage people to get them and copy them and give them to your friends and get rid of them. For sake of time here we go. The Bible tells us in the 10 Commandments pretty clearly, thou shalt not bear false witness. Don't lie, right? According to the Bible anyway, it's wrong to lie. According to the evolution theory, I can't think of anything that could possibly be wrong, because I've often asked people, if evolution is true, how do you tell right from wrong? Make me a list of 10 things that are wrong, and before you make the list, tell me how you decide what goes on the list. Where is your standard to determine right from wrong, if evolution is true? Now, the Bible says very clearly, a false witness shall not be unpunished. He that speaketh lies shall not escape. The Bible talks about people who delight in lies. Psalm 62. These 6 things doth the Lord hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him: a lying tongue and false witness that speaketh lies. Okay. The Bible says Jesus holds a vote. You're of your father the devil, and the lusts of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. I am convinced, after studying this topic for many, many years, there's an awful lot of good science in these science books, but there are some lies mixed with them. I'm not against the science, I'm against the lies, and that's what I want to talk to you about tonight. Now, in my first 3 tapes of my seminar series, I tell how students are being lied to about the Big Bang. It didn't happen. They're being lied to about the age of the Earth. The Earth is not billions of years old. They're being lied to about the cavemen. There's never been a caveman, unless you mean Osama bin Laden. And they're being lied to about the dinosaurs. They did not live millions of years ago. Here, I typically spend 3 hours. I'm only going to spend 1 tonight, talking about some of the lies in the textbooks, 25 of them. There are probably 80 that need to be discussed. Disclaimer here, I'm not trying to get evolution out of the schools. I'm really not. I'm not trying to get creation into the schools. I just want the lies out of the books. That's all. I'm sick and tired of paying for lies. Now, my mother retired from teaching public school. She's been in heaven for 7 years now. My brother retires this year after 34 years of teaching public school. There are many good teachers in the system. Dan Woods was a high school principal for 11 years and a science teacher for 6 years. He and his wife are now on my staff at Dinosaur Adventureland in Pensacola, Florida. There are many good teachers in the system. I agree. Is there anybody here that thinks teachers or textbooks should be allowed to deliberately lie to students for any reason? I think that'd be okay, all right? Wisconsin has a law that requires textbooks to be accurate. So does Alabama. Textbooks shall be adequate and current. Okay? Texas says instructional material shall be factual. Okay. Florida has a law that requires accuracy of instructional material. So does California. California textbooks shall be factually accurate and incorporate principles of instruction reflective of current and confirmed research. Minnesota says a teacher shall not deliberately suppress or distort subject matter. Those are all good laws. The problem is no states enforce them, okay? 2 Peter warned us, knowing this verse, there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lust. See, the reason people scoff at the Bible is not because of their science, it's because of their sin. Julian Huxley, Thomas Huxley's grandson, said, I suppose the reason we left at the origin of species was the idea of God interfered with our sexual mores. Ooh, well, at least he's honest. They just want freedom from God's authority over their life, and he admitted it, okay? Sir Arthur Keith, he wrote the foreword to Darwin's book when it was republished in 1759. Keith said, evolution is unproved and unprovable. We believe it because the only alternative is special creation, and that is unthinkable. Well, Arthur, why would it be unthinkable to think there might be a creator? Well, Romans chapter 1 gives us the whole story. If you read the whole chapter, it's pretty interesting. It says, even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. Romans 1 is a very interesting chapter, by the way. Second Thessalonians tells us, for this cause God did send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. And if you believe you came from a rock 4.6 billion years ago, you have been deluded, okay? You have believed a strong delusion. You're welcome to believe that. You can believe anything you want. I don't care what you believe. But I'm just telling you, you're deluded if you think your grandpa was a rock. Now, evolutionists cannot silence their critics with logic. That's why they won't debate. Okay, and I'll come back at my expense and debate all the professors here at the same time on 3 simple conditions. I get half the time. If there's 20 of them.
All right, Joseph, the audio is terrible on this. You can get it gets a little better later, but you can get the debate on DVD. I've got it's debate number 18 out of my 389 debates if you want to watch that. But I want to go back to my slides here. These are some of the comments at the bottom after I spoke at Berkeley. This guy said, open safe. It's one of my favorite debates. The evolution myth was absolutely destroyed, rightfully so. Somebody replied, this is the conclusion one comes to when they refuse to learn and prefer denial. The theory of evolution was not destroyed. Rather, fallacies and lies and misrepresentation convinces you. Well, Project Night Shift, you give absolutely no specifics in your response. What exactly about evolution is true? Has anybody ever seen a dog produce a non-dog or come from a non-dog? Evolution is nothing but 100% imagination. Just imagine, over billions of years, it slowly changed. It's not science. Nobody's ever seen a cow produce a non-cow, ever. The kids toured today. We stopped by and we pointed out there are 167 different kinds of ducks. And kids, all the ducks probably came from what? A duck. And you're 11. And you can figure it out? You are officially smarter than a college professor. Okay? Because they think ducks are related to bananas. They have the charts. I showed you the chart, right? Yeah. And there are 450 breeds of cows. And all the cows probably came from what? A cow. 11-year-old professor, wake up, okay? Evolution is, there is no scientific evidence to support it. None. You can believe it if you want. I don't care what you believe, but don't call it science. And don't make all of us pay to put it in the science textbooks. Go support your own religion at your own expense, okay? Start a church for call it the Solid Rock non-Baptist church, because you believe you all came from a rock 4.6 billion years ago. One atheist said, we don't believe we came from a rock. Yes, you do. Look at the textbooks. Earth was a hot ball of rock. It rained on the rocks for millions of years, turned them into soup, and the soup came alive. You think you came from a rock? I don't see how you can drive on the highway that's made out of your ancestors. For heaven's sake, show some respect, would you? Oh, gee. Okay, so anyway, Project Night Shift, call 855-BIG-DINO, extension 4. I'll debate you anytime. Or all your buddies. Get them all together. 50 versus 1. No problem. I get half the time, and we talk about one topic at a time. Joseph, I'm sick of these guys ruling our schools with their dumb religion. Time somebody does something about it. Textbooks are supposed to be accurate. Watch my video number 4, lies in the textbooks. Get those lies out. I was in a debate one time, and I went through some of the lies in the textbook. And the professor I was debating said, folks, Mr. Hovind is right. These things are inaccurate. He didn't want to say lies. He said, but Mr. Hovind, they never call me Dr. Hovind, even though I got it on my cup. Okay, that proves something for somebody somewhere. He said, Mr. Hovind, what would you replace all this with? I said, folks, what he's trying very hard to not say is, all we have to support our theory is lies, and if you take them all out, we don't have anything left to support our theory. So you got to find more evidence to support our theory. No, I don't. I got a better idea. Just keep science books as science books. Teach science. Okay? Evolution has nothing to do with science. Okay, other comment. Open Safe. That was too cute. Thanks for the laugh. Evolution is a myth. Well, thank you, Open Safe. Here we go. Project Night Shift, add it again. There's nothing quite as enjoyable as educated students laughing at Kent Hovind and correcting him on THR Baddix of something. Let's see. Sleep, CS Sleep said, or CJ Sleep, there's nothing quite as enjoyable as seeing you make so many typos in one sentence. Yeah. God loves you, dude. You can tell the education system is failing. Yeah. They can't spell, they can't type, anything else. Okay. Creation myth versus scientific fact. Oh, you think evolution science? Backwards dog, somebody wrote in. Project Night Shift, add it again. He's got a keyboard, doesn't he? Okay. I would love to hear how you think science is a myth. Project Night Shift, learn to read. He did not say science is a myth. He said evolution is a myth. And it is. Evolution is not part of science. As badly as you want to make it part, it isn't part of science. Science, what we can observe, study, test, and demonstrate. Evolution does not fit any of those qualifications. Project Night, Brady, evolution is not science. Were you there 20 billion years ago? Anyway, that's all the comments I had, Joseph. Any questions or comments from the group we didn't get to talk about today? I try to go 30, 35 minutes on my programs here. You got any there, Joseph? Okay. Do you think humans hunted dinos to pretty much extinction, or was it climate change? Well, dead horse, I think it was both. If you look at the chart, let's see, right here. These are from the dates given in the Bible. Genesis 5 gives the dates before the flood came in the days of Noah. And Genesis 11 gives the dates after the flood came. So before the flood came, the people lived to be 900 years old. This is the age of the big dinosaurs because reptiles never stopped growing. Never. After the flood, it dropped their human lifespans, which is all we have to go on from the Bible, get away from the dinosaurs. They dropped off to 400, then down to 200, then down to 100. And today, hardly anybody makes it to 100. Something changed. I think the climate changed. I'm one of those strong believers in what's called the canopy theory. I think before the flood came, there was a crystalline canopy above the atmosphere. The Bible says there was water above the firmament. And it says in Genesis chapter 1, the firmament is where the birds fly. Well, that would be the atmosphere. There used to be a layer of ice, I believe, 2 or 3 fingers thick. The Jews have always taught. How they know that, I don't know. Maybe God told Adam and he passed it on. Who knows? Anyway, this crystal canopy up ahead would increase air pressure, would squeeze all the air into maybe a 10-mile layer around the earth. Today it's 50 miles and goes up and down with the tide. We have an air tide as well as a water tide. Who cares? Okay. That crystal canopy would block UV light, it would increase oxygen and increased air pressure. Breathing was much easier, and the giant dinosaurs, 80-foot dinosaurs, had nostrils the same size as a horse. How's an 80-foot animal going to get enough air through nostrils the size of a horse's nostrils? Well, he can't today. He could then. Before the flood came, the earth had increased air pressure, 35% oxygen. What we're breathing today is 21%. So after that canopy, during the flood, the fountains of the deep broke open. I think it shot rocks up and shattered the canopy. And that crystal canopy, being magnetic, because super cold ice is magnetic, would get sucked in and dumped on the North and South Pole. I had a globe here, something. Here we go. And you would end up with an almost instant ice age, rapid snowfall around the North Pole and South Pole coming from that canopy collapsing. Only this is 400 below zero snow, okay? Minus 459.6 Fahrenheit is absolute zero, 273 Kelvin or zero Kelvin, 273 centigrade. Who cares? Okay. It's interesting. If you look at the ice age, it came further south into America, clear down to Kansas City, Missouri, than it did into Russia. The ice age effects are centered around what used to be the magnetic North Pole. The ice age is a result of the magnetic field sucking the crystal canopy that was shattered in and dumped on the earth. That would plow out toward the equator like an avalanche and make all the glacial effects, the lateral moraines, terminal moraines, glacial grooves, all that happened. And it would bury animals standing up and freeze them standing up. Google, animals found frozen around the polar ice caps. As the ice melts back, they might find a camel standing up frozen, or bobcat, jaguar, lynx. Look, have you ever been in snow so deep you couldn't even fall down? I was raised in Illinois. I went to college in Michigan. They put me in prison in New Hampshire. I'm real familiar with snow. Okay. I think it snowed so fast, some animals froze standing up. That ice would go clear down to Kansas City. And when Noah got off the ark, the ice caps were still huge. I mean, really huge, which means the oceans are smaller because the water's frozen up north. And that means the continents are bigger. That's why all the continents have a continental shelf. That used to be the beach line right after the flood. And that's why we find so many cities underwater. The city of Atlantis. Do you think they built it underwater? No, they built it when the water was lower. Over the next few hundred years, the ice would melt back, raising the ocean levels. They had, hey guys, water's coming up. Guess we got to build a new town. They'd move up. Underwater roads have been found. I think it's all explained by the flood of Noah. So I got off the track of the original question. What was it, brother? So yes, so after the flood was over, I think two things happened. One, the climate was different. The atmosphere that used to be compressed would now expand it out to 50 miles, and the air pressure is lower, which means large animals can't breathe anymore. They can't get enough air. And people hunted them, calling them dragons. There are hundreds of legends of people killing dragons. Watch my video number 3, all about dinosaurs living with man, people hunting them, people putting clear pictures of dinosaurs on ancient artwork, ancient stones, stuff like that. Watch video number 3. That'll set it all straight. Okay, thank you. Other questions, brother? A couple more and let's quit. I'm sorry, who is? Pluto back in. He got converted finally. Okay, go ahead.
Hello, Kent.
You're here to announce your conversion. You want to get baptized. We had 2 baptized today.
Well, almost.
Okay, go ahead.
My son's been, I've always been an iPhone man. My son's been trying to talk me into converting over to Android, but I'm just not there yet. Now, this ice canopy that you keep talking about, you say ice is magnetized?
No, at extremely low temperature, I'll show you the slides on that. Let's see. Ice, yes, ice can be magnetic at low temperatures. Oh man, I got 50,000 slides. Let's see. Maybe it's in part 2. Yeah. Yes, there's, all you gotta do is Google, can ice become magnetic? And they'll say at real low temperatures, like 300, 400 below zero. Yes, it can.
Well, actually, I did look it up, and it says that it's not that it's magnetized. It says that it reacts weakly to magnetic fields, and actually it is repelled. So
Right.
it would be the opposite effect.
No.
The magnetic poles, it would actually push if it. I mean, I don't believe this this ice canopy is physically possible. You've never shown the math or the physics that would make it possible, but it is weakly repelled, and weakly is a main thing, and it's a repellent force. It's not going to be attractive.
So do you believe it is physically possible to squeeze all the matter in the universe into a dot smaller than an atom?
We've been over this. It's not matter. It would be energy, and I have challenged you to show the laws of physics that would prevent an arbitrarily large amount of energy to fit into an arbitrarily small amount of space. You've never given this law of density for energy or the math to back it up. So because it doesn't exist, I'll tell you why you can't.
Let me show you what I've got. I agree. The Earth's magnetic field would repel this, which is why it was held up there. Otherwise it'd collapse. So our super cold ice, a train in Japan suspended on superconducting coils. There's a magnet floating above a superconductor, known as the Meissner effect. There's a frozen pumpkin, really low temperature, being floated by magnets. Okay. The fact that ice is diamagnetic can be demonstrated by hanging an icicle from a very thin string and bring a strong magnet near one end of it. the icicle will twist away from the magnet. Huh. There's a hoverboard, Lexus hoverboard that actually works under low temperatures. So I think you're mistaken. Called
There's-
yes. So whether the ice,
The Earth's magnetic field barely moves a needle of a compass. There's no way that it's going to hold up a structure of that size.
well, today you're aware that the magnetic field is getting weaker, aren't you?
What I see, it goes through cycles and even switches poles.
That is baloney. How on earth can the magnetic field of a spinning Earth switch poles? Is the core going to flip over? Explain physically how that can happen. There's no evidence of the Earth's magnetic field flipping. There's evidence of it getting stronger and weaker, but never flipping.
there is evidence of it.
Well, you are
changing
mistaken.
direction.
You are
No,
mistaken. Okay. It can't do it. The spinning object, the Earth's magnetic field by the central core, can only get stronger or weaker. That's what they proved with the magnetic anomalies at the bottom of the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. They drew a magnetometer across there and saw it was stronger, weaker, stronger, weaker. It made a sine wave. So they drew a line through the middle of the sine wave and called everything below average a reversal. And it's not a reversal. It's below average. You need to study up on that. But anyway, back to your topic. So you're saying you don't like my ice canopy theory. Well, then I would suggest don't teach it. I'm going to keep teaching it. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, but you said you didn't want to get your creationism taught in schools. Yeah, you do have a video out just for teachers, public school teachers,
Right.
to teach your brand. I think you would like very much for your creationism to be taught in schools.
I think the teacher should be allowed to teach science. If I said, students, nobody made this pen, this marker, that would be stupid. I think it'd be perfectly fine for a teacher to say, look, this world, everything we see is so complex. The anatomy of a cell, let alone the anatomy of a human body, is so complex, there must be a designer. And if a student says, who was it? We're not allowed to talk about which designer. Is it Allah, Buddha, Jehovah? But there had to be a designer. That's common sense. There was a designer of this dinosaur. This didn't come from an explosion in a plastics factory. There's a designer of your body, whether you like it or not. And you're going to face him one day, and he's going to say, you should have listened to Kent.
You say that, you use the argument from complexity, but that argument actually works against you because a designer will want to simplify. You do not overcomplicate a system when it's not necessary. And you see so much of just the photosynthesis, the method by which plants use photosynthesis is way more complicated than it needs to be.
Okay, let's stop right there. You design a simpler one, and I completely disagree with your premise. Most artists put stuff in their artwork that makes it look overcomplicated, and it makes it look beautiful. I bet the Corvette or the Tesla has some really cool features that doesn't have to have. I bet it's got a spare tire. You don't need a spare tire to go anywhere. I think that's an example of preparing for something to go wrong. I think God gave us a healing mechanism. In case you cut yourself, it'll heal back. What if you never use it? Okay, well, at least you got it. I carry Band-Aids in my wallet. Hope I never use them, okay?
Well, if this was 150 years ago, you would be making the argument that look how simple the cell is. Only a designer could take a glob of goo and turn it into a human being. That would be your argument. Because scientists have, due to the hard work of scientists, we now know how complicated the cell is. And so now you take that which was, you put no effort into, you've merely taken what the scientists have given you, and now you say, oh, look how complicated the cell is. In other words, your argument will shift whichever way that the scientists go. If they say this is so simple, you'll say, oh, look how simple it is. If it goes complicated, oh, only a designer. I mean, when you have an argument that says, well, this designer did it, and that's just the way he did it, you're really explaining nothing.
Okay, you are really desperate to defend your religion, aren't you, of evolution? You really want there to not be a God. I think
No.
it's obvious there was a designer. You can believe what you want. So I think the fact that the people 200 years ago thought the cell was a glob of jelly. Okay, that's what Darwin thought. You know, just a
Right.
now we've studied. Look how complicated it is. Wow. I bet a native in the jungle someplace would pick up a cell phone and say, "Wow, what's this little box?" They have no idea what's inside that thing. Okay, but there was a
Right.
designer. You're arguing for against a designer with arguments that you have designed. You're talking through a microphone that somebody designed. You're
Right.
probably sitting at a desk that somebody designed. You're probably wearing
Right.
clothes that somebody designed. I bet you live in a house that somebody designed. I bet
Yes.
you're breathing air. You're breathing air that is designed perfectly for humans to breathe.
No, that's where you, that's where
Okay.
you
All right.
reaching for
Anything
stuff.
else? This is a waste of time, Joseph. Anything else?
Well, how about this dinosaur
Yep,
talk?
got one. Well, plastic model. What about it? What about the dinosaur?
Okay, you've talked many times about birds not being in the clade of dinosaurs, correct?
If you believe dinosaurs turned to birds, you really, really drank the Kool-Aid.
Well, if you were to find an animal, you dig it up, and you don't know what it is,
Right.
what are the defining characteristics that would tell you, okay, this is a dinosaur? It's not a mammal. It's not just a big lizard. This is definitely a dinosaur. What are the defining characteristics that you would look for?
Well, the word dinosaur, made up in 1841 by Richard Owen in England, means terrible lizard. I think lizards are not birds. I think the differences are enormous. You think a 50-ton dinosaur turned into a bird? You really believe that?
No,
You realize-
no,
you realize
no.
they
That is not the theory. The birds
Okay.
are theropods. That is
Right.
a sauropod.
It happens slowly, right? Slowly. Just imagine.
Now, again, that does not answer. What are the defining characteristics? What are you looking for that would tell you, okay, this animal is definitely a dinosaur?
It doesn't matter. You're completely missing the point.
No, it
animal,
doesn't.
no, it does. No animal has ever been observed to change into something else. It only takes
Well-
place in the past, billions of years ago, in your imagination. Show me
Well-
where a lot of animals today having babies. Show me where any of them are producing something you think is going to slowly change to something else.
Well,
Show
what
me
you would look for the temporal fenestra in the back. You would look for the anterorbital fenestra. These are openings in the skull for air suck. You're going to look at a asymmetrical trochanter on the femur. You're going to look for a reverse crocodile ankle arrangement, a sans sacrum in the pelvis, where the ribs are fused into the pelvic bone. And most importantly, you're going to find an open acetabulum, which is where the hip joint fits into the socket.
Right.
The socket would be an open acetabulum, meaning it's a ring of bone and not a closed socket like you and I
One
have.
topic at a time. Shut him
This
off.
is all
Joseph.
one. This is
Shut
all
him
one
off.
topic.
Shut him off. One topic at a time. You're doing what the atheists accuse the people of doing, the Gish Gallop. There are thousands of differences between reptiles and birds. Thousands of differences. Okay. The pelvis that you mentioned has to completely reverse. How on earth did the thing walk or fly during that process of billions of years? And it all happened by chance changes. Let's use chance mutations to change a car to an airplane. There's a whole lot of things that have to be designed to change it. I'm sorry, you are a waste of time. I'm sorry, I'll pray for you. Hope you come around to see it, but you've been really drank the Kool-Aid. Okay, give me another one, Joseph. We're way over time here. Why does the nations need healing in the new heaven and earth? Well, good question. Don't know. Find out when we get to heaven. Oh, no headphones. Okay, there. For the healing of the nation. Maybe it's because it's not quite heaven yet. We got the 1,000-year kingdom. You know, we'll get to live on earth a little longer. So then he makes a new heaven and a new earth. Why does the healings need nations? Okay. Why do you think Christianity and evolution are mutually exclusive? Well, Sam, it depends what you mean by evolution and what you mean by Christianity. Okay, certainly the Bible is incompatible with the macroevolution theory. For many times, I've done my seminar, I say there are 6 different meanings to the word evolution, and there are, whether they like it or not, okay? 6 different meanings. Let me call up that chart here real quick. No, let's see. I've got it in here somewhere. Well, not that I can find quickly. Okay, first you'd have to have cosmic evolution, the origin of time, space, matter. Then you have to have this helium that was made from the Big Bang, hydrogen and helium and a tiny bit of lithium for our batteries. Then you'd have to have that change into all the chemicals, chemical evolution. You got to get gold, silver, platinum, uranium from hydrogen gas. I'd like to know how to do that, okay? Then you have to have cosmic evolution. Stars have to form. Nobody's ever seen one form, but there's a lot of them out there. Current estimate is there are 70 sextillion stars. That's the ones we can see, we know about. We don't even know about the ones that we don't know about, okay? There it is, okay? Cosmic evolution's chemical, stellar, organic. Life has to get started. Nobody has a clue how that can happen. Certainly can't make it happen in the laboratory. And if they could make life in the laboratory, you know what that would prove? It takes intelligence to make life. Duh. Okay, then you have macroevolution, where an animal changes to something else. Nobody's ever seen any of those first 5. And they get mad at me for making the list of how dumb their religion is. All we see is what's called variations within the kind. There are big dogs, little dogs, hairy dogs, no hair, okay? It's still a dog. Dog, wolf, coyote probably had a common ancestor. That doesn't prove they're related to a frog and a banana and a pine tree. So, evolutionists, the burden of proof's on you. If you want all of us to pay for your stupid religion in the schools, you better show some evidence of it happening. Not, it might have happened. Look at this fossil. Wow, it's got a hole behind the ear. Ah, that proves something. Yeah, somebody shot it, what it might prove, okay? Okay, other questions?
There's one more, you want it?
I don't know, what is it? What do you think of aliens? I think Trump is shipping a lot of them back. Isn't he? Yeah, I don't think there's any intelligent life on other planets. I taught high school 15 years. There's not much intelligent life on this planet. But, so no, I don't. God, the Bible says Eve's the mother of all living. I think it might be demonic stuff. I don't know. But I think, don't believe in it at all. Thank you so much for joining us. Sunday morning, we'll be back in Proverbs. For Wednesday night, Whack an Atheist. Thursday, Friday, open mic. Okay? You can't monopolize my show. Go start your own show. If you got a quick question, I'll be glad to take it. If you want to monopolize my show, go somewhere else. Okay? Thank you. See you Sunday. Bye.